Most people spend their entire lives chasing money, without ever understanding how money actually works. They work harder, longer, faster, but somehow they still feel stuck. Meanwhile, somewhere across the world, a billionaire wakes up, calm, focused, in control, not because they are lucky, not because life was easier, but because they learned something early, something the average person never truly understands. Money is not only built with hard work, it is built with thinking, habits, patience, discipline, and decisions. Warren Buffett once said, "The rich invest in time, the poor invest in money." And that single sentence explains why some people remain trapped, while others quietly build empires. Tonight, you are about to hear the financial lessons repeated by billionaires across generations. Lessons from entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, self-made millionaires, and people who turned pressure into power. These lessons are not motivational quotes. They are survival rules. Because the truth is, financial freedom is not just about becoming rich. It is about waking up without fear, living without desperation, and building a future nobody can control but you. Watch this until the end, because one idea in this video could completely change the direction of your life. From childhood, most people are taught one financial formula: go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, work for 40 years, then hopefully retire. But nobody teaches people how money really behaves. Nobody explains debt. Nobody explains investing. Nobody explains ownership. Nobody explains leverage. So millions of people spend their entire lives trading time for survival. And every month becomes the same cycle. Wake up, work, pay bills, repeat. Elon Musk once said, "Constantly think about how you could be doing things better." But most people never stop long enough to question the system around them. They simply follow what everybody else is doing, and that is dangerous, because normal financial behavior often creates average financial results. The average person buys liabilities trying to look successful. Expensive phones, luxury clothes, cars they cannot afford, not because they are wealthy, but because they want to appear wealthy. Meanwhile, truly wealthy people often focus on assets, businesses, investments, skills, ownership, systems. One grows ego, the other grows freedom, and the difference becomes visible years later. Lesson 1. The rich buy time. Jeff Bezos once said, "What we need to do is always lean into the future. Time is the most valuable asset on earth. Money lost can return. Time lost never does." This is why billionaires become obsessed with efficiency. They delegate, automate, prioritize. They protect their focus like their life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. The average person spends hours scrolling social media, watching other people succeed, laughing, comparing, distracting themselves. But successful people understand something powerful. Every hour wasted today becomes regret tomorrow. Warren Buffett spends most of his day reading. Bill Gates famously takes think weeks away from distractions, because deep thinking creates powerful decisions, and powerful decisions change lives. Ask yourself honestly, where is your time going? Because your future is quietly being built by your daily habits. Lesson 2. They master delayed gratification. One of the biggest differences between wealthy people and struggling people is patience. Most people want rewards immediately. Quick money, quick success, quick validation. But wealth is often invisible in the beginning. There are years where it feels like nothing is happening. Years of learning, years of sacrifice, years of discipline. Steve Jobs once said, "If you really look closely, most overnight successes took a long time." The world celebrates results, but ignores preparation. People see successful businesses. They do not see the sleepless nights. People see expensive lifestyles. They do not see the years of uncertainty. Billionaires understand something most people hate hearing. Small, smart decisions repeated consistently become massive outcomes. Saving money may feel small. Learning a skill may feel slow. Building a business may feel frustrating, but compounded over years, everything changes. The problem is that most people quit too early. They stop before momentum begins. Lesson 3. The power of ownership. Mark Cuban once said, "If you don't own your business owns you." Ownership changes everything. Employees trade time for money. Owners build systems that continue producing value. This does not mean everybody must become a billionaire entrepreneur, but it does mean people should think beyond survival. Can you build something? Can you invest? Can you create? Can you own part of a company? Can you develop a valuable skill? Because ownership creates leverage. And leverage changes financial destiny. A single digital product, a single business, a single investment, a single opportunity can completely change your life. Most billionaires became wealthy because they owned something scalable, not because they worked the most hours. Lesson 4. Learn before you earn. Charlie Munger once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." Before money grows externally, it usually grows internally. Knowledge, mindset, discipline, communication, confidence. Most people spend years entertaining themselves, while successful people spend years educating themselves, and eventually, the gap becomes impossible to ignore. The internet gives people access to almost unlimited information. Business, marketing, sales, finance, investing, psychology, but many people use that opportunity only for distraction. Meanwhile, somewhere else, someone is studying, learning, improving, preparing, and one day the prepared person enters the same room as the distracted person. The results are never equal, because growth always rewards preparation. Lesson 5. Your environment shapes your future. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This is one of the most ignored financial truths in the world. Energy spreads, mindsets spread, habits spread. If everyone around you complains constantly, eventually you normalize limitation. If everyone around you wastes money carelessly, you begin to copy it. If everyone around you fears risk, you slowly become afraid too. But when you surround yourself with ambitious thinkers, something changes. You think bigger, you move differently, you challenge yourself. Billionaires carefully protect their environment, books, conversations, mentors, business circles, because they know exposure shapes belief, and belief shapes action. Now, the dark truth about money. Money amplifies who you already are. If you are disciplined, money increases opportunity. If you are reckless, money increases destruction. Many people dream of becoming rich, but few prepare mentally for responsibility, because wealth without wisdom becomes dangerous. There are people earning huge salaries while drowning in debt, and there are people with modest incomes quietly building investments and financial peace. Income alone does not create wealth. Behavior does. This is why financial education matters, because without understanding money, people often become slaves to it. At the end of the day, most billionaires teach the same lesson in different words. Your life changes when your thinking changes. Wealth begins internally before it appears externally. The habits nobody sees eventually create the success everybody notices. The discipline, the patience, the sacrifice, the focus, those quiet decisions shape destiny. And maybe the most important lesson of all is this: financial freedom is not about impressing people. It is about peace. The freedom to choose, the freedom to breathe, the freedom to help your family, the freedom to live without constant fear. That is real wealth. So if you are struggling financially right now, do not lose hope. Every expert once started confused. Every investor once started small. Every billionaire once knew nothing. The difference is that they kept learning, and they refused to stop. Years from now, your current struggles may become the foundation of your future success. But only if you continue. Stay disciplined, stay patient, stay focused. Your future is being built by what you do today. One day, people will ask how you changed your life. They will see the confidence, the growth, the success, but they will never fully understand the nights you stayed disciplined while others gave up, the mornings you kept going while feeling exhausted, the sacrifices nobody applauded, because success is usually built in silence, long before the world notices, and maybe years from now. You will look back at this moment and realize something powerful. This was the chapter where everything began to change. If this video inspired you, subscribe to the channel for more powerful motivational stories and financial wisdom. Comment below, "I will build my future," and share this video with someone who needs motivation right now, because one lesson, one decision, one mindset shift can completely change a life.